Hello friends, I'm Everman22 and today I want to talk about Shroud of War and give a breakdown of the changes from the previous game. One of the things I'm most happy about is leading an army of orcs all under my command to slaughter my enemies. In a panoply of full-scale war rather than using guerrilla warfare like in the previous game, they could still do that. They made massive improvements to the Nemesis system. One of the changes is that during a battle, if one of your orc war chiefs gets injured and you leave them to die, there is a chance they may survive and then betray you. And that premise alone is an amazing way to spontaneously generate good, genuine, organic stories. This means any of your war chiefs have a chance to betray you, especially if you leave them to die when they're wounded. Just imagine the situations of when a player starts liking a certain war chief like Az-Laar the Destroyer, only for you to see them die in front of you. But wait, they're not dead. They're alive and motivated purely by hate to destroy you, because they genuinely felt you left them. This creates stories of revenge and betrayal, with the end result being either you killing your trusted champion or them killing you. But on a lighter note, there is a chance in the full game to save your own guys, but they will have a scar to show for it. And depending on how tough they are, they'll either have to retreat or power through and keep fighting. And this isn't some pipe dream. We saw how player-driven interactions in the first Nemesis system in Shadow of Mordor can cause a huge boost in overall likability of a game because of how invested you get in killing this war chief or saving this one. The amount of creative ways in which you can kill them was astounding. And now when you brand a war chief, all of his subordinates fall under your control as well. Now you can use your war chiefs to punch holes in defenses or act as spies and wait for the opportune moment to strike, possibly saving your life in the process. This means you'll be more invested in them because at any point they can either betray you or save you. In the end, they have way more personality than the last game. For example, they can have more relationships with each other as well as you. And this applies to the captains as well as the war chiefs themselves. They could be blood brothers or they could be rivals. Just because you're on the same side doesn't mean you like each other. Also, they have reactions to things like poison and fire, as well as monsters. They also react to things that happen to their fellow soldiers, their captains, their war chiefs, their blood brothers, and you. They can get mad if you promote this orc over them, or retreat and leave without them. And if you make them kill their blood brother, even if they're on the opposite sides, they're gonna hate you. Additionally, you can shame them to reduce their level and ostracize them from your army. Some orcs are just incompetent and should never be promoted. Some orcs are just insane and will kill anyone that gets in their way, including their allies. Now let's talk a bit about the new fortress system. The fortress system was where you can train your soldiers, upgrade your armor, and build new defenses. The more it's upgraded, the more war chiefs can defend it. You can also train your war chiefs to upgrade from their classes, like say a Beastmaster, which is a new class, who controls armored mounts, can be upgraded to a Beast Lord, who can command much larger and powerful beasts like Grogs. But of course you have to take them from overlords first. And to take them from overlords, you have to engage in full-scale war. And each war chief and captain under your command can help you in a variety of ways. Some are so terrifyingly big and strong they can break the doors down with their bare hands. You have to remember that these overlords are handpicked by Sauron himself, so they won't exactly be easy to deal with. Once you've murdered the overlord, you can select one of your war chiefs to be the new overlord. And of course your orcs are free to loot and pillage the fortress, with you taking the biggest share. From then on, the fortress changes depending on the orc you put in charge, matching his personality. And from the map we saw in the trailer, it almost looks like a rift-based system of capturing strongholds, which means they can also try and retake their fortress you stole when they get cocky enough. So you always have to be ready for a fight, and you also have to be ready to defend your fortress that they try to take over again. There seem to be around 20 of these fortresses from what I saw from the dev stream, all different and having various sizes, so there are some way bigger than the one we saw in the trailer. And it takes hours of gameplay to build your army enough to the point of taking over your first one. Oh, and you can also dominate and recruit any orc in the game. And that includes the overlords that were handpicked by Sauron. So you might want to think about that. Mounts are now summonable, as we saw in the trailer. Caragors are one of the mounts. I'm curious about what the other ones will be, because in the dev stream they mentioned having giant spiders in the wilderness now. I want to ride a giant spider, please. We also can ride drakes as mounts. We can summon them. And that's amazing. Now let's talk about classes, because there appear to be more classes for war chiefs now. Because in the trailer we saw that there were necromancers and beastmasters. And in the dev stream they talk about specialized commanders and assassins. Apparently every single orc now belongs to a different tribe, each tribe having their own strengths and special abilities. For instance, the feral tribe specializes in hunting and trapping and using monsters in battles, so they make great beastmasters. This means you'll be able to choose from and have to kill a lot of different personalities. So you can change your war chief's class if you want. You can also use them for missions like assassinating a war chief that's not on your side, or a captain that's not on your side. Or perhaps pillage a certain place for more loot for your growing horde. Also, when war chiefs and captains have a higher level than you can't dominate them, but you can shame them to reduce their level. And that balances the game because it prevents you from getting really strong followers who have way too many immunities for an early game. Let's say you're level 10 and you want to get a level 50 guy. You somehow beat a level 50 captain or war chief and you dominate them. You won't be able to do that because that's just OP. And depending on the difference of power, your orcs can pretty much take care of the battle for you if you want. If you send in a level 50 war chief against a fortress of level 10s, that level 50 war chief can more or less destroy the entire place by themselves. Another interesting thing to note is that some orcs will apparently join of their own free will, as in they deliberately seek you out to join your army. I like that idea. I'm curious how they'll accomplish it in the game. All in all, I'm super psyched for Shadow of War. If it's anything like the last one, it should be game of the year for a lot of people. Also, I heard you can import your saves from your previous game, if it's on the same system, so you can keep your previous nemesis. And yes, the person playing the trailer had it in God mode, so don't worry. In fact, there is an easy difficulty, a normal difficulty, as well as a hard mode, so you a hardcore gamer should be happy with dying again and again. And this difficulty is even more punishing when you realize how many immunities orcs can get, like immunity to poison, immunity to stealth attacks, and immunity to fire. Of course, now you can get gear and loot that gives you immunities as well, so you can become immune. We're also getting new weapons. One of them is a hammer and the other is a spear. Oh, and also Ringwraiths and Balrogs are in the game as bosses. So that's epic. Middle-earth Shadow of War is in development at Monolith Productions, which also created Shadow of Mordor, and is scheduled for release on August 22nd on PlayStation 4, PC, and Xbox One. And on a final note, yes, he's getting his beard back. I'm Everman22. Thank you for watching. If you like my video, please like and subscribe. I hope you all have a nice day.